Good morning, Scorpio. It's Healed and Open, and I'm here to do a new reading. A lot of tarot readers have been doing how does your partner feel about you? And that's great and all, but I think if we're going to make changes in our lives and really use tarot as a helpful tool, I created How Do I Feel About Myself? So the goal is to ask, questions to really feel like explore yourself, your inner self, and get closer to you. Because essentially, you getting closer to you changes a lot of things. So, let's get into it. Okay. During your premeditative reading, bottom card was the six. Yeah, the Six of Swords, and the top card was the Queen of Pentacles. And I felt as though that you're in heavy thought about relocating, staying in a relationship, staying at a job, moving, but it involves it affects not just you. I feel like it also affects either a family or a child to that isn't here yet, or a child that is, or possibly both. Okay, so we will be using the Dream Oracle deck as I have in all of my other readings. I've just been called to continue with this deck, and I am going to do so. Okay, first question is, how can I attract the best parts of myself? How can Scorpio attract the best parts themselves? Express the ocean of your emotion. How can Scorpio attract the best parts of themselves? Page of Wands. You're going to, I feel like with Scorpio, there are deep-seated emotions. Definitely because you guys are the murkier water of emotions. There's more. There's more that occurs than what is expressed. And if you take on the energy of the Page of Wands, it is you expressing the variety and levels of those emotions, whether they're, are levels of happiness, levels of excitement. There's happiness, excitement, joyous, there's angry, there's disappointed, there's sad, there's depressed. If you express those array of emotions, it creates a new you. You sort of evolve. So with the Page of Pentacles, that's representing something that you never really do before. So to the outside, to people that see you, you come off as the Page of Pentacles, someone who's different than what they were, or different in how they operate. So you're not a Page of Wands to yourself, you're a Page of Wands to the people that view you. But it also, you opening up, cracking open those emotions, shines a light and makes you brighten your aura, you brighten, you don't feel so caged and withheld. It's a brand new you. It's not how you usually operate. Okay, what are Scorpio's current beliefs about themselves? What are Scorpio's current beliefs about themselves? Get in the driver's seat of your life. So you have the Ace of Swords in reverse came out, and also the Emperor card. As far as your current beliefs about yourself, you want to take control of the situation. You are taking control of the situation. You, but I don't feel like you trust that you are taking control, which kind of feels like, which isn't taking control. It's almost like a new driver. So, yes, you pass the test to get your license. You know all those answers. You're able to follow protocol on the road, but your confidence, there we go, your confidence in taking control of your life is not there. Um, you just, because it's all new to you, what's going on right now is all new. And it makes sense because it is your solar return. So at the beginning of when you have your solar return, there are a lot of new things. You want to change the way you operate. You have, like, goals for your life. You have a certain vibe for your life that you want to lead forward. And it happens naturally, it happens subconsciously. Um, but for most of you, for a lot of you, really, there is a change that is happening that puts you in the role of control, even being a leader, but it's of how you operate. There are things that you hold back from because you don't think it's worth, like, going down that path. If it's to avoid conflict, if it's to avoid, like, those uncomfortable times in growth, you've avoided them. Now you have that push to face on all challenges with truth and bearing it all. And you know it needs to happen. It's something inside of you that has to happen. You just feel insecure about it. You don't feel confident in it. And it's more a lack of confidence than an insecurity. You're ready to do it. Like, you're ready to move forward. And with the energy of the Emperor, you're just hesitant on where it would lead you. How can Scorpio trust themselves more? Come home to a residence of your soul's resonance. Can you say that? I'm trying to The lighting is kind of off. Come home to the residence of your soul's resonance. And Scorpio trust themselves more. Okay, you have the Page of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. There is, I feel like these are two energies here. Yes, the Four of Pentacles can signify stability, but it also signifies, what am I trying to say? Worry, protection, well, overprotection, security, but not security as in, and not protection. It's like you're tight with your money. You're stingy. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. You're stingy. And it could be stingy with your time, stingy definitely with your resources. But then on the other side, there's the Page of Pentacles who is kind of very laxed in the skills, personal and professional, that they have. And it's one or the other. So let me break it down. Okay, so if you're currently under the Four of Pentacles energy, you're being called to be under the Page of Pentacles energy. Loosen up a little bit, share the wealth, share who you are and your skills, your abilities, your creativity with other people, and it creates growth. It creates a stronger community. With the background, this is all concrete. Yes, that's a strong community, but it lacks growth. Here you have a lot of growth with the trees, the greenery, the open air. A lot of creativity flows here. On the other hand, if you are operating in the Page of Pentacles energy, just very carefree and laxed with how you operate or how you share your skills, it could be, it could be that you're promiscuous with your love, just very free-spirited with who you trust. You're being asked to hone it in a little better, keep some things to yourself so that you can develop them, protect them from the outside world, because they have the ability to become damaged and unappreciated and taken advantage of. So trusting yourself more in the sense of protecting what you have. If you're moving from page to 4, it's protecting what you have. If you're moving from 4 to page, you can trust yourself more by understanding that being confident in what you know what it is you're doing, and moving forward with that. Sharing your skills. They're not going to go anywhere. You know them enough and they're a part of you enough for someone else not to take them. How can Scorpio release the unhelpful parts of themselves? How can Scorpio release the unhelpful parts of themselves? Ocean, go with the flow and flow with the glow. How can Scorpio release the unhelpful parts of themselves? Excuse me. This is your meditative energy. And if you see, they're doing the exact same thing. So the more you worry about a situation, the more it becomes more damaging. You suffocate it. There's some growth here, but there's also a lot of bare land. But the bare land comes from weeds being present, and weeds tend to suffocate any growth that is possible by sucking up all the nutrients. Look, I don't even know if they suck up nutrients. We'll go with it, and if I'm wrong, definitely tell me. But the idea that weeds kind of overpower the good for themselves, and that's what allows them, it's a suffocating plant is what I'm trying to say. Worry is a suffocating emotion to growth. There is the analogy. Oh man, sometimes you just have to go with it. Sometimes you just have to go with it. Go with the flow and flow with the glow. Everything's going to be okay. So just because you release how you have zero tolerance for disrespect doesn't mean that you become a person who is open to being disrespected. Does that make sense? So it my grandmother once told me, you only have to be a bitch one time. You don't have to do it over and over again. You set the tone. But staying in that energy, kind of, say if you were like a beezy just through and through, you block a lot of blessings. If you set the tone and lay your principles down and your guidelines and your boundaries, people know what it is, and you can still operate in a lighthearted, free way. People are just more cautious to cross you. So when it comes to releasing the unhelpful parts of yourself, it's, actively worry less about a situation because it's going to be okay. Both of these, that she's letting it go, she isn't necessarily holding the pentacle or the object, the emotion, your love for something, not holding it close to herself as the Queen of Pentacles is, but it's still attached to her. It's not going anywhere, so it's not even fully letting it go. Does that make sense? This is still an attachment. This is a less obvious attachment. This is a more obvious attachment. This is almost the same energy as the Four of Pentacles. But let it go. For you, letting it go allows it to grow, allows you to develop, allows you to explore other parts of yourself when your hands are free. Doesn't mean this goes away. Say if you set it down to the side, it doesn't mean it goes away. Say if she releases her hands, it's not going anywhere. You free yourself up to explore other things. Hobbies, relationships. If it is a personal relationship that you're, like an intimate relationship that you're holding on to, releasing it doesn't mean that it's a breakup. Releasing it allows it to stay afloat in the emotion of love, and then your hands are free to still nurture and develop other relationships that are familial, professional, and friendships, if that's the case. If it's a project, kind of let it go and marinate, because there are other things that need to come in that could help with the process and the progression of it. But you have to free up your hands. How can Scorpio communicate better with themselves? How can Scorpio communicate better with themselves? Shine like the star that you are. The same sense of worry that is here in the Five of Cups that just came out and in the Four of Pentacles, it seems to be a theme. But also what seems to be a theme, she's heading towards light. She's heading towards light. This is light very close to her, experiencing light, and she's headed towards light. Male or female energy, it doesn't necessarily have to, it's androgynous. Is that right? My goodness. I feel like male or female, it's interchangeable. It's okay to understand what you worry about, but don't let that be your focus. Don't let the things that, all of the what ifs, keep you away from the Two of Cups in the back. Don't let all of the past regrets, the failed relationships, the arguments that went bad, don't let those don't let those create doubt within yourself. Understand that you won't always be right. Understand that you will get hurt just because you can't control another person's reaction to things. That doesn't mean they love you less. That doesn't mean that what you had during the good times is invalid. That doesn't mean that the bad outweighs the good. But what it is asking you to do when you come across those things, those challenges, those hurdles, those falls, is to still remember your qualities, your personality, the person that you are, because that makes you stronger. That's how you continue to get back up. So instead of focusing on the fall, focus on the strength that you have to even get back up and continue, which is amazing. What is Scorpio's overall energy about themselves? Scorpio's overall energy. Upgrade your mental software. That's just what I was saying. Literally just said that. Don't let barriers define who you are. Overall energy. Celebrate all of your wins. Celebrate all the things that you've gotten through. This is the same Three of Cups. But you take them, you being able to talk with your friends or your family members to discuss, like, man, look at the things that I've been through. Look at what I've been through, but I'm still here. Like, I'm still standing. And on the same ground that I was once crying pity over, but now it's different. You have a flow of emotions where you're like, what am I doing? A lot of doubting yourself, that regret. But once you get past that and look at it in a different light, those are all things that people around you have helped you get through. Your strength is possibly in your support system. Understand that you're never going through anything alone, that you always have other people to turn to. It's okay to talk about the stuff that you're going through. I know that you guys like to keep things to yourselves and kind of just everything's okay. Superficially look at the positives, but deep down inside, you guys are like falling apart. Understand that if you share how you're falling apart or how you really feel about a situation that went bad, doesn't take away from excuse me, doesn't take away from what am I trying to say? Doesn't take away from, man, how did I lose that like that? Doesn't, oh goodness. Doesn't take away from you actually feeling joyful about life. Emotions come in waves. It does not necessarily mean that you'll stay there forever. Yes, things will pass, but as they pass, be sure that you're releasing them and not ignoring them. Celebrate your support system. Understand that you are strong, filled with strength. And all decisions you make are the right decisions for your life. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment. I need to know like how you guys feel about this reading, if I should continue with it, if it's helpful. Just let me know. Thank you.